their moves are just more efficient, right?
Yeah.
OG should have a captain on par with Puppy, so they should be able to match that. So
they have this crazy person, No-Tail. Like, it doesn't even make sense. What they broke Dota with the last 2 TIs that they won. They pretty much broke the game. The way they're playing reminds me of Dota AI. You know, like it's just so aggressive, so in your face that you lose your sense of what you should be doing. Even there's a saying from No-Tail: when the game goes full, you go with it, and yeah, they made that strategy work really well.
They really did. Now, looking at this draft and looking at the bands we're seeing coming out already, any key surprises, and what are we looking here? Because you spoke before, right, about OG Seed and how they were drafting. They've been given this recipe, the formula there from the OG themselves coming out of this, but they yet to really deliver and make it work.
So yesterday, what I noticed from OG Seed is that they pretty much aimed their first bans at supports, and it's not really any different right now. They have banned out. Oh, look
we got
at that.
A new graphic.
Heroes.
I like this. Most played heroes. So they're the top picked heroes we've had so far.
Now, Void Spirit yesterday wasn't really contested. I think this hero is super capable of carrying you the games. He's such a high playmaker. Same goes for Ember. Ember 40%. Sometimes the number and stats do lie, because Ember Spirit, he's so strong that he's always first picked, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's not your real win condition. So that 40% doesn't mean that the hero is bad.
Yeah.
It just means that he's constantly picked and in the first stage, and there are heroes that answer him afterwards.
Yeah. And coming back to the bans of OG Seed, you mentioned that they were targeting supports. I actually like that. If you force the enemy team to pick the supports early on, right? We all are talking constantly about how the levels are. We need heroes that actually scale with levels, not with items right now. And if you pick the supports early on, that means that you can't really answer the enemy cores with your supports who don't need any items, just need a few levels. So that's actually quite a nice strategy. Just get rid of the supports that the enemy team likes to play and force them into picking the supports early on. Then
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's actually a great point. So good, because Nigma, they shine when GH has a hero that does not need a lot of items. So far, in the last 3 series that I've watched them, if GH has something like a clock, you know, something like a Tusk, a hero that pretty much has built-in abilities to catch you, to make mess on the map, they do extremely well. If you give GH something like, let's say, a Shaker, it's a little bit slower. You have to give him space. He's not necessarily the one that creates it for you. They let the Chen go through, but they pick up Kotl and Bristleback. So if you're asking me, this opening from OGC, it looks very good already.
And it does seem to be one where they're going to try and make Nigma be very uncomfortable early on here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Crow, definitely one of the players that's very well known for the Chen, but against Kotl and the Bristle, it's not like you can push down towers, you just put that Bristle back in front, and they go for the PL,
Wow,
which...
that's very early. Super early PL pickup. There are some heroes that have been banned out that are pretty good versus PL and the Bristleback, so taking these 2 heroes early on does make sense. On one side there's Timber, who is extremely good versus Bristleback, pretty good versus PL, is banned out. On the other side, Ember Spirit, that's really good versus PL, is also banned out. So picking these 2 cores this early on does make sense. We don't see a lot of PL. The hero matchup, PL versus Bristleback, is kind of wonky. I believe that Bristle gives more to the team early on. PL is definitely your ultimate hard carry in the late game sense. And if he just continues sending those illusions at the Bristleback, he can make his life a little bit more difficult, because you just don't have mana to do anything.
But here you have the Kotl to actually help with that. And yesterday Kyle was being very sad that all the Bristlebacks go for the Vanguard, but this game against the PL, the item that you really want is the Crimson Guard. And so we are most likely to see a...
So Kyle was...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there.
We're most likely...
It
does get
it's too much at this point.
I mean, we are most likely gonna see a Vanguard on this Bristle, and possibly later on a Crimson Guard. Though the hero I'd like to see for OG Seed, if this Bristle is a position 1, I'd like to see a Legion Commander. A hero that's kind of forgotten, but against the PL and the Chen, it should do extremely well in the lane and even for the rest of the game.
Alright, I don't mind that. Well, this is also a hero that's pretty good versus that same PL. You have one good ultimate called Echo Slam to deal with all the illusions and him. In the laning stage as well, it's extremely good. In the time in which Shaker was usually played as position 3, it was constantly picked versus PL because it's really strong.
Okay.
Right now it's more of a position 4. I think OG Seed might roll it in that way, and it brings you options. It brings you different possibilities on that offlane. You now can think about heroes that are kind of self-sustainable and just need a couple of fissures there to help them out a little bit.
Okay, we get a Nyx. It's a solid Nyx game. All of the heroes can be stunned when using some of their spells. It's one of the best heroes to break the Earthshaker combo. If you see that your PL is going to get stunned from afar or something, you just use your Carapace. Or if you're not in the Echo range or in the range of the Aftershock, he uses Echo Slam, and those Echoes or whatever you want to call them, you just stun him with the Carapace, so you can actually stop the combo. I like it a lot. To me, Nyx is a bit more of a late game type of a hero. So again, Nigma is going more in a sense that they're not going to snowball, but they have this, let's say, a bit later game oriented lineup.
When you see the PL, you see that they have this extreme win condition that scales very well into the late game, like you just said. However, what's really interesting always for me when I'm watching these tier 1 captains is the way they approach the meta. Most of them are full of pride, right? They've been around, they conquered, they won everything, they won multiple TIs or whatnot, and they want to prove themselves even more. And they don't necessarily pick these heroes that are the strongest right now, but they try to find ways to deal with those heroes. And now when I see the PL and the Nyx Assassin, Nyx, okay, has been picked up a little bit recently, not quite a lot. PL definitely not quite a lot. And I'm thinking, all right, this is a prepared strategy to counter Bristleback somehow. And I believe it's not necessarily dealing with that red bar, but the blue bar. Just deal with his mana. He is playing with a Kotl, but you can constantly deal with his mana. You have the mana burn from Nyx. You have also the Diffusal built by PL. Nyx is really good versus Kotl as well, as he can. A long time ago, he was considered the counter to the Kotl as well. It's not the same matchup right now, but it's still pretty solid.
And it's not only that. Earlier, like, we could see an Invoker, like an Exort Invoker, and then Nyx would go for these kills. Nowadays, Nyx is more of a, I'm gonna bait you, I'm gonna use Carapace, I'm gonna stun you, and then everyone is gonna kill you. So Nyx, nowadays, he needs a lot of levels. So maybe on level 6, if you get some towers down, he's actually gonna go for kills. If not, if that doesn't happen, I think they just put him like in a side lane, he gets some levels, and then later on, he's a really formidable opponent.
Look at that, it's another hero that's really good versus Monkey King right now picked up. It's a hero that gets countered a little bit by Nyx Assassin. It's not super counter, but you don't really like playing against Nyx as a Batrider, so they cover themselves in that way.
Yeah.
But overall, I like the Bat pickup here. They don't really have a lane that's good against him at the moment.
So right now, where are you seeing the weaknesses?
So OG Seed, they definitely drafted a lineup that's playing with a very high tempo at the moment. The Shaker does not fit super well into that because he is the one that's more on the reactive side earlier on, then later on can pick up the pace. But overall, if OG Seed just round this lineup out with a very solid hero that's good versus the PL and the Bat, it could be good for them. But right now, the Bat, I feel like it was just a perfect pick.
Yeah. One thing we keep saying right about OG Seed when we've been looking at their drafts is that a lot of their game plans seem to come around being online early and closing the game out before we get to the later stages of the game. Is it looking like a similar case now?
Well, they have definitely ways of playing the late game. That's the cool thing. Their heroes are snowbally, right? But actually, Monkey King, Shaker, and Kotl, that's a formidable team fight. It actually works solid against the PL. If you get like a Maelstrom on the Monkey King in his ulti, he can deal with illusions. So, to be honest, like, they can play the late game, but they have given themselves the opportunity to win the early. But I think this Batrider is actually a problem. It wouldn't surprise me if Nigma now bans that LC. To me, he's the hero that OG Seed needs. They need something to save from the Batrider, and to me, LC is the best. And they ban the Queen and pick up.
Usually, you would be completely right, but when you think about the way Nigma likes to play, they want to give this hero that can be as aggressive as possible. Fits his playstyle, his Necros, his Timber Saws. these heroes that do come from the mid lane, but you don't need to give in too much. He's going to be pushing the tempo on his own. It's also Necro that's in a game versus a Bristleback, which is pretty solid. It's also pretty good versus Monkey King. Pretty much Necro is very good versus any hero that likes resetting fights. Your Slarks, your Bristles, your Monkeys, because you can't afford to drop on 50% HP. If that happens, he just ultis you and you're kind of out. Monkey, he wants to hit you a couple of times to get that Jingu mastery. Bristleback always plays on the edge, so Necro is a pretty solid pickup here. The only question is...
Are you sure it's a Necro mid? It might be like you put the Batrider, if it's a Monkey mid, you put the Batrider against it.
Okay,
and
they can lane in different ways. I would like... Oh, this is perfect. This is also pretty good from OGC. Man, their drafts yesterday and today have been really solid. I love this. Like you just said before, I was looking at their draft from one dimension, saying that they're really early game oriented. Then you brought my attention to the fact that they can go late, which is also true. And SF is the jack of all trades. He's really that hero. You can play him the way you want. However, what he really brings to their table is magic damage that they severely needed versus the Necro.
Yeah, I definitely like the SF pickup. We've been seeing less of him since the change to the runes. You would go like early raises, and then on minute 2 you would have your bottle, right? And you would just get the rune. Everyone just secures it for you. I think he's the big loser when it comes to the 4-minute rune, right? Because you actually have to bring out some of the regen. So he's not as strong as he was. He used to be like in pubs even first picked, but I definitely like this OGC lineup. I feel like all 3 of their cores build BKBs. Both Monkey and SF deal solidly well with the PL. I mean, based on the draft, I have to go a little bit to OGC here, because and even you said the Shaker needs some items, but not necessarily. With the Kotl, you can actually max your Fissure and follow your team. Plus, the Shaker is going to assist the SF in the mid lane. I'm really digging this OGC lineup, to be honest.
Well, we've got Toby and Misery standing by to join us for this conversation as well. So you guys, are you both on par with saying that OGC's slight advantage in this draft?
I was blamed by Kyle yesterday for not being man enough to go with the draft that I think is better. I really think OGC would have a very good chance here. I'll go with OGC as well. Why not?
Okay, so you guys are saying OGC. What does Toby and Misery have to say then?
Do you want to back him up, Misery, on this one?
Yeah, I think OGC could definitely take. I think it's pretty. I think this style is kind of favors Nigma a bit. I think where they have the Miracle on their carry and Weeha on some kind of YOLO type of hero. Create a lot of. So maybe I'll go with Nick.
Oh, okay. Well, that at least creates some nice controversy between them. But thank you very much for the panel. I just like to watch high quality Dota and see OGS play a little bit better every single time they have an outing. Like, learn from their last mistakes and then play a bit better. Decision making in some team fights is going to be, for me, the critical thing I want to see from OGC coming about the 25-30 minute mark. How to actually play this one properly. But for now, we'll just check out our lane. So it looks like Miracle will be the Phantom Lancer heading towards the top lane. Currently with the Chen and the Nyx Assassin. So they're going to try and keep mind control on the safe lane. Or at least the bot lane for Nigma. We'll see how safe it's going to be. What do you actually think the matchups that Nigma is looking for? Like, are they really just trying to dodge a specific hero versus mind control?
I think they don't want to go into. I think they don't want to play against Kotl Bristol that much. I think, so they're trying to dodge the. Actually, I'm not really. I think they're kind of going aggro to protect the Necrophos a bit.
Okay.
But there's an Earthshaker, so they feel like Necrophos safe lane might be just, they don't really care about the other, like, who goes where. I do think, though, that if they go Bristleback, they might have a really hard time with even because Kotl Bristleback is just kind of tailored to withstand this type of pressure with just spamming quills. And it's not even a position 1 Bristol, right? So he's really good just creating space, knowing that the other 2 lanes are going.
Yeah. You're already seeing Z3 doing exactly what you're talking about, the Fissure block on the bottom. And we've got a Courier to do the block, but that is in fact Monkey King. So they start with the tri-lane. And then the other fun matchup's going to be the mid. Weeha going up against Chessie. Chessie was already prepared for Batrider to come towards this mid lane. We were talking about during the drafting phase 2 when the Batrider got picked up. It's like, is this really what Mind Control wants? Probably not. It's a Weeha kind of thing. But Chessie will have all the sticks in the world. All the charges in the world. Bottom lane, the three heroes together. Blinding Light. Actually putting Necro up. It's a Boundless Strike level 1 from Madara, so he brought in the extra stun. Wasn't looking for any kind of mastery to keep the pressure onto Mind Control.
So it looks like they're going to aggro themselves, actually, on OGC and just leave the Bristleback solo top, which is probably good. They need to enable the Monkey King more so than the Bristle in this time.
Well, they keep going. Mind Control really low. The Fissure blocking him up. Mind Control, that heal won't be enough. There's a couple of stick charges. Space from GH being created with his Impale, but Mind Control's 2 more attacks from Z-Freak away from death. Mind Control turns for another Death Pulse and some stick charges, but the first blood still goes the way of Peksu. Z-Freak juking the trees away from GH. He doesn't have the mana for another stun, but GH wants to keep it up. The Peksu continuously blinding lighting, making it difficult for Nigma to take this fight. And they have definitely freed this lane up for Monkey King now.
I'm just trying to fix my mic here.
That's good. I think you were just lagging in and out. Yeah, just your sensitivity, man. Just turn it down to 0. Well, it's funny. We were talking before and everything was totally fine during the drafting phase. That's technology.
I don't know. I don't know if it's better now. Try to keep me updated. I can try to adjust.
Sounds good for me at the moment, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Do you hear me?
Yep, I do. You're good. So Kuro's on the rotation, looking towards the mid lane. Peksu is going to say hi. I'm interested to also see like the influence the Kuro is going to have on the lanes. Like, as you said, like he's kind of left the top lane because Bristle and PL just have this one-on-one. Doesn't look like he can do much against the Keeper of the Light, however.
The laning setup favors OGC right now. Just because Necrophos has such a hard time and Monkey King is very happy. And that's kind of what OGCs need. Mid lane, I'm not really sure. It looks like Batrider is dominating, but I mean, I think he should. Low.
Yeah, I think you turned your mic down when you yeah, when you were trying to fix up your mic. Gotta get your settings back to where it was. And your sensitivity there. Madara, or GH, he's gonna get punished for that stun. Well off target, Spike Carapace, however. Very difficult to punish a Nyx Assassin. It definitely looks like Mind Control and GH want to be a little aggressive. Z-Freak doing the best he possibly can. Let's try and make sure the GH has a hard time. Or he's just waiting for a courier to snipe as well. You got one coming out with the rest of the Magic Wand and Infused Raindrops.
Okay, I think I fixed it.
Wonderful.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Go Z-Freak. Go Z-Freak. You know you want it. And he got it. It still did the delivery. So Mind Control still got his raindrops, but Z-Freak will try and get the hell out of here as fast as he possibly can. Now Weeha's rotating over too, so maybe a denial to the Ancients is one play. GH doesn't have another stun available. In fact, Z-Freak with the bonus damage from the totem, almost finding his opening, and now GH using the mangoes. Weeha will rotate down and find the kill. Long time off the lane, but he does get the kill on the support for OG.
That's still a lot of space though. He only got 136 gold for that, and he had to leave the lane, losing a few CS on the tower, so... And he killed the courier Z-Freak, so he feels pretty good about that, I'm sure.
Now this Harpy Stormcrafter. Such a pain in the butt for consumables. Keeper of the Light has only stick charges. Well, 1 in total. So not a lot of life left up in this top lane. There's 1 Tango for the Bristleback available as well. And this allows Bounty Roost to come in. Peksu. He's looking for the steals. So at least they'll get a 2-2 trade-off and leaving a fresh Observe Ward behind for the Keeper of the Light, who actually heads down to the bottom lane. Madara trying to run away. GH, that's done well off target. That's the second Impale from the Nyx Assassin that's kind of gone begging. But top lane Bristleback might be hunted down right now. Kuro's trying to wait for the creep wave to go past. A Miracle and Phantom rush forward. Get the heartbeat going. The extra slow from the Ghost. And Bristleback will have a hard time moving through the tree, especially when Miracle destroys them. Gets in front and the sides. And Bristleback, left alone, goes down.
Yeah, I think they
going
want
on mid. Jesse. Lasso. Or the fissure. Maybe Z-Freak's bought a little bit of extra time, but no, he hasn't. We have still got the kill. And there's no rebuttal.
I think they should try to enable Bristleback a bit more, maybe with Caudle. Because Monkey King is already doing fine. And if Caudle sits back top and just keeps manning the Bristleback, you know, Bristle's going to be very happy up there as well. So they have a Shadow Fiend mid, and that's kind of an issue for them right now, because Bad Rider is... They kind of need to play around SF2, but I feel like it would be better if they just work around their side lanes, and then let the SF just either catch up in the jungle or whatever. Yeah, I see.
Kuro brought Weeha with the back of a double damage rune, and Ziba, he only just returned to this top lane. He'll respawn in 23 seconds, but we'll have to wait 40 before he can TP to the top lane. And Pexu's arrived as well. If you got a little extra... Well, if you had a creep wave, you'll probably be diving the Keeper of the Light right now. This is a good start for Miracle. Almost 3k net worth. The only one who's actually close to him is actually in front of him is the Monkey King of Madara, who did go totally ham in game 1 against Team Secret yesterday.
Yeah, he definitely needs to create some space this game, because there's nobody else that can really help his poor teammates but him.
Mm-hmm. Smart from Z-Freak to TP out. Weeha didn't have the mana for a lasso to cancel it. But Nigma have taken over the dire jungle. They're really cutting into Chessie's farm area.
So this is what Nigma doing really right now is really good. Like giving Nyx mid lane, and then Bad Rider kind of just, you know, takes over the enemy jungle and like makes people TP out on him, and like just creates a lot of space for Nyx to get his 6.
Mm-hmm. Even if he is playing under Dire Obs and Sentry. Yeah, he's pulling Chessie and Z-Freak down. GH even steals the Invis rune. Mind Control's moved over. There's your first stun over on SF. Weeha getting some extra mangos from a friend, so he's able to get that extra mana to move forward. Lasso making sure that SF will go down. And Kuro's wrapped around the backline too. You Shaka over on Z-Freak, so you'll have another fissure pretty soon. They're still taking some time as Madara stunned up. Kuro wanting the distance before the 4 stack of Jingu is able to connect on him, but he can't make the distance against Monkey King. Pouncing forward, the Boundless Strike will connect, and Kuro will go down. That's a heavy rotation from OG. They brought everybody but the Bristleback to the mid lane to fight. And you've still got to chase GH, who's killed off Pexu's courier.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they definitely have a Bad Rider problem this game. It's kind of difficult for them to deal with this Bat when he runs in and napalms people. But you know, they just need to weather out the storm, I think, try to get levels on their heroes, then eventually they're gonna have way superior team fight. But they'll be under a lot of pressure, like the next 5-10 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm. At least OG control both the outposts. That's something Nigma will have to do something about within the next 40 seconds. At the same time, they still want to get runes. GH coming in close once again. Zebe feels like he's got an opening here, but they just wait out the Spike Carapace. One quick impale, and GH will get some distance, but that's not stopping him. 4 Nasal Goo. Keep it maxed out. 2 Razors, and then 1 more attack from the Bristle. In fact, just the Core Spray will do the job.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Interesting positioning from the supports, like trying to get behind the lines, cause some problems.
I think if you look at the Nigma's vision is kind of poor in their jungle, and I think GH was trying to get in there, maybe get a ward out, maybe try to sneak the outpost, and probably didn't expect to walk into 3 heroes.
I'm gonna try and battle top lane Keeper of the Light. The blind lane actually pushing the Harpy Stormcrawler back into Roshan because they couldn't get the quick damage to get the kill, but Pexu still goes down. Chessie, the stun's up and running. Kuro trying to get the distance with the Requiem of Souls from Death. Finds the kill, but they're battling underneath the Bristleback, so it's Miracle versus Bristle, and Miracle's got 5 Core Spray stacks up. The Fissure is there from Z-Freak to cancel the TP. I think Bristle had it anyway. But Team Nigma, they were already taking both the bounty runes on bottom. Yet still he decided to fight for the top one, and now Mind Control, who TP'd up to try and help out. Madara with the DD rune just has to wait out the Ghost Shroud. Mind Control's waiting in the tree lines. A lot of one charges available too, but Z-Freak blocks him in with a fissure. And the Boundless Strike will finish the job. Mind Control even losing his courier in all of this. Maybe Weeha can get a rebuttal as he looks over towards the Bristleback Spike Carapace. Any kind of extra spill damage. And Bristle will go down to Weeha, ending the 3-time killing spree. But that's only worth 300.
Yeah, pretty good exchange for OG Seed. Like, these type of skirmishes are nice for them because it frees up space for what we talked about earlier, on how if they get levels and experience and gold on their heroes, they have superior team fight. So any kind of trades like that, it's probably going to be good for them. Bristleback is going three bracers, or he changed it, went for a wind lace. So his face boost now. His net worth was looking really bad before that engagement.
Now, he's always had like the standard build on Bristle Rise is having phase and 2 braces, then you go into your Vanguard or your Hood, depending which way you need to swing.
I mean, normally, ideally, what you want to do is just rush a Hood, right, and then be unkillable. But this game, he had such a bad start that he felt like buying these smaller items would be better. Weeha is in trouble here, actually. Doesn't
Nix's
have
Assassin wants to come through the rear, the Will-O-Wisp, making it difficult for Wee to get away to safety. In fact, they just let it go. 4 heroes from OG assemble. And they push the town pretty quickly after this. Like, just how much building pressure can OG dish out?
Oh, I think they just take this tower, perhaps.
They probably
like
have to, because Miracle just took the top tier 1. They need a trade.
Yeah, I think this OGC is in a good position here to take this fight. They don't have Coddle out, but at the same time, I think this is a good timing for them to pressure this. Does look like Nigma is gonna want to defend this. Bad Odyssey being in. Spotted by Bristol though.
Miracle still not joining the fight. OGC, they're backing off. And it feels like the game against Team Secret. Hey, 12-minute happens, we push the tower, but we really don't get as much as we thought we were going to. Like, the amount of damage they did to the tier 1 tower was almost the same amount of damage done to the tier 2 tower of their own on top.
Yeah, they thought they could get it, but still, I mean, Glyph, and then people don't die that long this early in the game. So Bat managed to respawn.
Oh, Madara farming up the wave. Weeha would love to have a crack at him. Flame Break flies forward, but Madara, Weeha will have to cut the tree a little quicker than that. Can't reach him in time. And so when we start thinking like the mid game, like when the power spike comes, we look at diffuser blades, we look at the defensive items or aggressive items from OG. Who's looking at a better timing to try and fight? I guess Miracle actually going to be that big hero that Nigma want him to be.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're gonna want to like take a fight with that diffuser like you talked about. They're even kind of pressuring beforehand with 4 heroes mid, right? Basically, if Badrider has backup right now, it's very hard for them to deal with it.
He got Pexu pulling him through the Firefly. Is it enough damage, however? No, it's not. Keeper of the Light will end up surviving the initiation now. You've lost that big control factor.
Smoke from OG Seed here.
They have to be looking for PL.
Coddle ultimate again. That or mid tower, yeah. It looks like they're look for PL. They won't really find him though. But they're gonna grab on mid instead here.
The Observer Sentry sees Bristol moving down. Mind Control, however, that won't stop him from walking in range to the Will-O-Wisp. Fissure is gone. Necrophos just goes Shrouds, tries to tank the entire fight at the very beginning. Hand of God arrives from Chen's. They get a little bit more life, but still battling under this Will-O-Wisp. Reaper Sight is only used as an extra stun to stop Madara from getting that quick ulti out. Z-Freak, the Echo Slam, not really as effective against Miracle as you'd like it to be. He tries to go to work with this fresh diffuser play, but he needs extra space to be created. But the Fissure continuing out, continue the stuns. Now Madara lets the ulti free up on the hillside. But all Nigma have to do is just get the hell out of that. The creep wave finishes the tier 1 tower as Weeha hovers around the edge. That's 8 stacks of sticky napalm on Shadow Fiend. He's going to burn so fast with a penitence on him. They break him down 9 stacks at the end. Weeha will still lose his life for the fight. And GH wants a little bit more. Miracle. He's on Z-Freak. He's got more miracles where that came from. Dodges Madara's strike. by the quick doppelganger away, and now GH can finally land these big stuns. The double stuns into the Spire Carapace, Monkey King, as well as Bristleback, dropping very low as Miracle has to get some extra space between himself and Bristle. Madara will still go down to mind control. Now these fights getting real scrappy as everyone just lets everything go and divides into 3 different parts.
Yeah, I feel like all Nigma games are, in recent times, are very scrappy like this. They like to fight. But I think that was still pretty okay for OGC. Miracle still stands like tall though, top net worth, and Weeha again.
Yeah, he got a lasso. He keeps prioritizing going on this Keeper of the Light. This time Z-Freak's Fissure won't be able to help him, and with a haste rune from GH, he easily closes the distance to get the kill on Z-Freak. So a double kill for Weeha. Chalks up his 7th of the game. And they're not done yet. Zibe's just hanging around here. Sitting behind the tier 1 tower, the Radiant Observer gave some deeper information. Chessie's nearby, but GH, he doesn't care when he Spike Carapaces the physical attack.
They're gonna take mid-tower now. Peel's moving in.
Is Bristle dead?
Maybe.
They keep getting sticky napalm. The Will-O-Wisp, they'll catch 4 heroes of Nigma. They're trying to get rid of it. One more round of the pulse will do the job. And man, that Shadow Fiend's got no mana. Reaper's Scythe getting dropped down. That's able to get rid of the Bristle back. But they haven't finished the job just yet on Shadow Fiend. Weeha sticking with it, even underneath the tier 3 tower. He will fall to Keeper of the Light. Bakuro's trying to get revenge. His army's on the front lines while Madara battling the remaining 3 players of Team Nigma. To give mind control now his double kill. They really just like breaking the back line, Team Nigma.
Yeah, it's looking rough for them. I mean, it feels like the Coddle and the Shaker are just a bit outmatched in terms of their timing. Their heroes just don't do that much at this phase of the game. Shaker is this one Fissure, and against these heroes like Batrider and Chen and Nyx Assassin, even for that matter, it's like there's just too much low cooldown spells, and these Coddle and Shaker just look. Yeah, they look pretty slow. It was like yesterday when we saw, I think they played Jakiro's Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
As supports, and it was kind of the same thing where their supports just gets ran at, and they can't really cast their spells properly because it's too easy to play around their spells. So Coddle ult is definitely strong, but it has such a long cooldown. So when that spell is down, it's easy for Nigma to just go in.
Feels like Madara can't be that all-powerful force that he was yesterday. If they banned out his Ember Spirit, that was pretty heavily enabled by the Keeper of the Light. But this Monkey King, he got a pretty good start to his lane. He's still second to the net worth, but Miracle joined the fight with a Diffusal Blade and just seemed everything went his way at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he was also laning against Terrorblade yesterday, so it's kind of a free lane for him. But I mean, this time it's even a hero like Shadow Fiend, you know, it's hard for him to raise and like to actually deal damage in these fights because of Batrider and Nyx Assassin. So now Miracle is way ahead of the crowd, and that's how Nigma likes it for sure.
So OG need to find a way to get into these fights, but like how do they do this? Like you don't have your Blink Dagger on Z-Freak, so is there an approach they can take that will be successful to stop Nigma from just taking this bottom lane of Rax?
The problem for them right now is that they're the ones who have to react. Like, you see Nigma even hitting high ground bottom, and they need to bring everyone back, kind of, to defend this.
Just coming in. You just lost Zibe, however, but the Will-O-Wisp is good to catch mind control. Miracle just doppelgangers away to safety, and now with the Echo Slam, they're throwing everything they've got to kill off mind control. Hand of God will not be enough. And the flame break from Weeha was a little too late. Didn't pull him in time. And they're actually going to just walk into it. Chessie's got his BKB up. And GH, not as powerful to try and stop this. He's trying to spike Carapace the rest of the damage from the rest of OG, but he'll still get raised down. So Chessie able to find this kill. But the flame break, they pushed him back, was actually past the other side of the fissure and into the waiting arms of Miracle. The diffusal down Madara too. So hard to turn, so hard to move. They're covered in sticky napalm, are being diffusal down, burnt out with mana. Madara and Z-Freak trying to make it back to the safety of the fountain, but Weeha doesn't want to let him go. Madara's in the Firefly. But it's Miracle with his illusion that takes the triple kill.
Yeah, I mean, this game is a good example of Weha just doing playing how he likes to play, you know, in their face and being able to dive, having arcane runes
go again.
Yeah. Oh, he's playing really well this game.
He's going to get chakra so he can get a couple more sprays out, but someone's got to get in there to get the last hit. And it's Weha's tick.
Yeah, and this Bristleback is also not the Bristleback we're used to seeing, who has like Hood and Halberd and maybe Vanguard, you know, who's really tanky, who's hard to kill. He has 2 bracers and plate mail. You know, he's like if Bad Rider spells just chew right through him.
But Nigma, this is probably part of the plan for Kuro, right? Like, he let them have it. You can see the ban phase happen, and Nigma let him have Coddle and Bristles, the same opening that OGC tried against Secret yesterday.
Look at the Shadow Fiend with 8 napalms on him. How does that happen?
What is the range of napalm is not that big.
No, we saw it twice now. I don't know if that speaks to just Shadow Fiend being such a clunky hero, or it's just yeah, that's probably it.
From Chessie?
I mean, when you start getting 4 to 5 stacks, you need to watch out, you know, because then the stuff starts to hurt. He almost died from Flame Break there.
Oh, OGC have lost their bottom lane of Frax. Nigma. Looks like OGC are going to make him work for it. They still believe there's hope. The win probability says there's 5% of hope. So something is there. I'm not exactly certain what it is. Unless they can try and get a perfect contest of Roshan.
I mean, if they win a really big fight right now, like maybe then, you know, some 5-0 type of fight with where they land their spells perfectly, but
you need a Blink Dagger on Earthshaker. You need that initiation, right?
Yeah, I mean, Nigma kind of have to screw up badly for that to happen.
Well, Roshan has begun. The vision from Nigma is already pretty thick. And the scan is right. You know what's happening, but you can't do anything about it. Z-Freak's desperately trying to get his Blink Dagger from in the jungle. And it looks like they just have to let it go. Oh, they even got a full Spirit Vessel for the Nyx Assassin as well.
That's a hard spot to be in, Dire. Like, even if you were not that far behind, it's so easy for Radiant to just walk over and hit Roshan, and it's like they will have all the vision advantage, so they will know if OGC are coming or not. And at the same time, OGC don't know if they're actually hitting Rosh or they're standing on that high ground waiting to attack. You know, they might as well be jumped any moment. So
Miracle's looking at bottom. He wants to go after Madara. Madara's already done his jump forward, and he needs extra help from Peksu. Peksu will provide that, but now Batrider's also TPing in up to the trees. Phantom Lancer can't find him, but they find Peksu instead. Weeha will grab that kill. And allow Madara to survive, which is probably going to be as good, but Weeha... Oh, Z-Freak. At least he bought the Blink Dagger. That's one upside.
Yeah, but...
I'm not saying...
alive to use his spells now.
We're just trying to be optimistic. Meanwhile, GH is doing his own Ravage. A double stun on Bristle as well as SF on the top lane. Reaper side drops down and Bristle back. He's got no life. And Monkey King has got no health, no regeneration. Spirit Vessel's trying to control him up. You'll get back to the fountain. But this is just opening it up for Team Nigma to take the top lane. Alright, Hallelujah play from ES in 7 seconds. You may need your SF alive to make that work, however. Luckily, money will solve that problem. He'll buy back. Team Nigma, they're grouped up. All right, Z-Freak, wait for it. This has to be big. They're all grouped up together. Fissure number one. He actually stuns himself on the Spike Carapace. Now the Blink and Echo Slam. Able to catch out maybe Necrophos. Shadow Fiend winding up the Requiem of Souls. They get the Rages and Mind Control will fall. GH underneath the Sentry Ward. Chessie doesn't care thanks to the BKB about the Spike Carapace. That's a hopeful race. GH is well far away from it. So with it, you get the kill on Mind Control, who's brought back and is already walking towards the top lane.
I think ultimately what this game comes down to a lot is the lane matchups for Nigma were much better this game, and it was hard for them to get the Monkey King lane and the Bristleback lane like at the same time. Yeah.
Like Coddle had to be like in 2 lanes at the same time to make things work.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, so both side lanes are gone. OG still believe there's a chance. I can tell you there's 1%. I don't see it though.
Nah, me neither. It also it doesn't look that good when your Shadow Fiend has strength threats, first item BKB in his base like this.
There's just no power for it all. At least gonna BKB, no Requiem of Souls. Standing inside the Wukong's command makes OGC feel a little bit more confident, but no, even Monkey King just pushed back out of it. SF is gone. This really is the game. GG is finally called. It took 26 minutes, but it felt over at 20. Maybe even a little bit before then. But Team Nigma, very solid performance, very solid execution of their lanes, and didn't even feel like it was just the Miracle